Work of the UK's border agency has been slammed in a report by British MPs. The document suggests at least 60,000 asylum seekers will be left to live illegally in the United Kingdom because the agency's lost all trace of them. Let's find out what that means for the country's security. Talk to Robin Simcox now. He's a research fellow at the Centre for Social Cohesion. Mr Simcox, evening to you. So how can it be that 60,000 asylum seekers just get lost in the United Kingdom? What's your take?
Well, clearly this is a really terrible situation. The government should be held, this government and the previous one before it, should be held entirely to account for this. Britain has essentially lost control of who is coming into the country, and once you can't secure your borders, you can't secure your country. Once you can't secure your country, I think you're being remiss, and you should not really be allowed to carry on in power. I think this is a outrageous situation that's allowed to develop.
Let's focus on the impact that may have on security. If the authorities have no idea who these thousands of people are, doesn't it pose a very serious and real threat?
Absolutely. I don't see there's any other way around it. When you look at, for example, a lot of the Al-Qaeda-related terrorist offences that happen in the UK, the majority come from British nationals, but you do also see asylum seekers, people that were in the country, for example, bogus colleges, which is increasingly a problem in England, of fake colleges being set up purely to allow students, for example, from Pakistan to come into the country. We've seen a lot of arrests related to that. There's a very clear security imperative in this issue, which is why the government needs to correct it as soon as it can.
Why do the authorities let these people enter the country if they simply cannot deal with them and meet the timeframes that they've put down to actually deal with them?
Well, I think there's a huge problem with Britain's inability to deport generally. Being part of the European Union, we often can't deport people back to their country of origin because it may contravene the European Convention on Human Rights. On top of this, there's a systemic problem where the huge backlog of cases, and we have something like 500,000 backlog of cases, simply can't be processed and can't be dealt with quickly enough. So you have a lot of people, and net immigration last year into the UK was around 200,000 people more coming into the UK than leaving it. So when you have that on top of the asylum seekers and the backlog, then of course you're going to have a massive problem.
So how can the situation be resolved then?
Well, I think Britain has to be a lot more stringent on who it allows in the country. For a long time now, the perception is that Britain has become a soft touch in immigration. Now, of course, there is a decent way of dealing with immigration, of controlling immigration. But the problem with statistics like we hear today is that it impacts everyone else. The genuine, for example, refugees and asylum seekers are often tarred with the brush of it just being a wave of all immigrants coming into the UK. So I think we just need to be much stricter, lay down much stricter criteria on who should be allowed into the UK. And I don't think we've got it in control in anywhere near amount enough as it is at the moment.
All right, Robin Simcox, Research Fellow at the UK Centre for Social Cohesion. Good to have you on the programme tonight. Thanks for being with RT.